Welcome to Testimony Mountain. So glad you are here with us today. And I want to share just a few things of some challenges that we're facing and invite you to pray with us. I shared in a previous episode about the land that is being given to us as a ministry for use, as well as they're putting on a home on it. And we were very excited and looking forward at that time to potentially moving in about this time, the end of August. And then it got pushed back, and we thought, well, the end of October, more likely. And then we faced a number of different challenges, but there has been some issues with the roads that have gone into litigation. And we're at least 6 months out from being able to move to the property, if not more. Now, we can go, oh, there's so much warfare, blah, blah, blah. And there is. And also that we are held safely in the hands of God, of true family. And so they have the perfect timing for us to move on to that land. And in the meantime, God is providing for us to remain here where we currently are. And so just invite you to join us in praying that we would be in God's perfect timing, that He would redeem the time, and that we would be able to move to the property in the right timing. Now, there's a lot of interesting things that are around that area, spiritual forces and so on, that we are looking at overcoming now before we move on the property, and so as well as things within ourselves. And so thank you for participating with us in prayer for that property to be able to be developed, and hope to eventually add more homes on there for more survivors. And so right now we're at capacity. We don't have room for more people at this time, but hopefully down the line with moving on the property, we can expand. And so appreciate your prayers for that. Then, many of you know this already, but for those of you who don't, the Lord has provided an amazing Christian man for me as a gift, and we are planning to get married soon. And want to invite you at the end of this video will be our wedding invitation. It'll be mostly virtual so that many of you can join who feel led to. And so appreciate your prayers in this. Now, this has been a real shock for me in that I had not anticipated this after the divorce from my husband. I was fine to not be in any relationships with men after that. Not from a hateful perspective at all, but just I felt like I could be perfectly happy being single and continue. Most of the ministry that we do is to women. And so, happy to continue. But I felt like God said very specifically, I want you to keep this door open to relationship with men. And I did argue because I was like, nope, no, thank you. I'm done. I'm happy without that. And yet he said, I created you all in the image of God, male and female. And it's important that the expression of who God is expressed through both. And so, he said this for me as well as for our community. He said, it's always your choice, but if you just continue as single and as mostly women focused, you will miss out on the blessing that I have for you in a fuller level of healing and ministry. So reluctantly, I said yes to him, that I would keep that open, but I expected that would be years down the line, because the advice I would give to any survivor is, if you're single, work on yourself. Don't pursue, a romantic relationship, because it is very dangerous. As survivors, the cults very often can send in someone who looks wonderful, everything looks great, sweeps you off your feet, and, turns out to be just another cult member who, is keeping you in bondage to the system. And so for me, it was like, I know I have a lot of work in recovery for myself. So, not interested for a very, very long time. Well, I love how God has his own ways of doing things and surprising us and pushing our limits. And so my team had been encouraging me to get the email list from my ex-husband, and because I'd helped to build that ministry, and to send out one last email to all of those people, letting them know how they could connect with me if they wanted to. And I got an email back from a man named Ken. And we had known him briefly, he and his wife, a number of years before. And it was one of those things where both of them, I immediately felt safe. I felt like I could trust them. And I had been kind of disappointed that they hadn't stuck around, or we had kept in touch, or they had even joined us in ministry. And so, I opened up his email, and he shared how his wife in the intervening years had gotten cancer and had passed away, and that he had cancer and was in treatment near where his son lived. And he did not know anything about the divorce and was just checking in to see if we knew anybody in that area that he could fellowship with. And, I wasn't sure fully how to respond back, but I just, wrote him and told him kind of the update that things had changed for us as well. And we just started corresponding. Now, because he was in his cancer treatment, he wasn't sure if he was going to transition as well. So there was no expectation initially. And so we just started, communicating first with email and then text and eventually calls, video calls, and so on. And because initially we didn't have expectation, for me, just being very honest and real about my journey as a survivor, and for him, just being very honest as well where he was at. And there was a freedom to just, be myself, and to even begin sharing some difficult things from my past, and him compassionately ministering, and also me being able to help him with some of his things that he was going through. And so, the relationship grew, and it's just been amazing. I can't even describe to you the safety and security that this has provided for me, the acceleration in healing, and so much more. And I see God's wisdom in what he is doing and has done in this relationship that has brought so much joy, has challenged me in so many ways. And so, a lot of my parts have fought very strongly against Ken. Some of them have tried to attack him. Um, and, the Lord has protected him in all of that. And his steady love and forgiveness of me and of them has just been amazingly healing for me. And yet, over and over, True Family have reassured me this is their gift to me, and I am the gift to Ken. And gratefully, his cancer journey, he has overcome that. Some of the DNA tests don't show evidence of any cancer, for which we're very, very grateful. And so there's a lot of hurdles on both my side and his side that we are walking through. But we do both believe that the Lord is calling us together. And this has been amazing also for the ministry, as Ken has begun to work with some of the men in our community, as well as some of the women too, because for us to walk out that fullness of healing, we do need healing both for the women and in the men's side. So most of us were traumatized by both. And so we need healing in both. I don't know fully how this is going to look as we walk this out, but I am so very grateful to the Lord for what he is doing. And so we will be getting married October 4th at 11 a.m. Central Time. and you are invited if you would like to participate. It's not going to be a traditional wedding. We're going to be focusing in on what does a kingdom wedding look like. And so would love to have you join us. You will need to RSVP by emailing me and letting me know that you would like the Zoom link, which will be released probably the week of the wedding. And so just thank you so much for your love, your prayers, your support. There is continuing battle in the spirit as I walk this journey out. But I am so, so, so grateful for what God is doing in the overcoming and breakthrough, that my healing journey has accelerated faster than I expected. And I'm just excited about what God has for our future. I'm grateful for our community and especially the household embracing Ken as well. I told him, fairly early on that I'm not single, that I'm a community, and that has multiple meanings, but also that what I do impacts the community. And I'm grateful for the support and love and encouragement. I hope that we can be a model of how survivors can walk out this journey with non-survivors and with other survivors, and walk in overcoming and the fullness that God intends for us in relationships and in the fullness of the mission of why we're here. And so I hope this encourages you and blesses you. I'm grateful for your prayers and support, and just look forward to seeing you next time on Testimony Mountain.
I just asked her to marry me.
And I said yes.